how would you describe your initial experience when you first started at Infosys compared to where you are now at Airtel?
So I think my initial experience at Infosys primarily focused on technical areas, more of execution, and it was more about software development, and it had very limited to low exposure on strategic initiatives. Whereas at Airtel, it's a completely different picture. The role here is more strategic in nature. I've been involved in defining roadmaps, understanding customer behavior, and how do you drive data-driven decisions in an organization.
So, what advice would you give to MBA students looking for transition into leadership role in analytics and data science?
So I think there are a few things. You should ideally build a very strong foundational understanding of data concepts, things like probability, statistics, learning on how to communicate effectively, how do you land a proper message, what is the insight you want to learn. I think that is one important thing. Then have a growth mindset, right? And I think lastly, which is one very key area, is how do you grow and build your network outside.
So could you share an example where data insights significantly impacted product development or business strategy at Airtel?
I think one of the key areas where one of the key problems that I think Airtel was always solving was how do you reduce the amount of calls that you get at the call center. And to solve that problem, we actually went deeper into it and understood why customers call the call center, for what reasons, for what particular areas, what are the problems that they face on a daily basis, for which they reach out to the customer person. I think, and the way we solved it was by creating alternates on self-serving channels like the Thanks app, the chatbots, and the IVR to understand and lower the volume that we used to get at the call centers.
Okay. Sir, you have worked with big brands like Jio and Airtel. So, how would you describe your experience and what are a few insight or advice in terms of skill set you would want to give to current PGDM students so that we can reach where you are?
I think it's the same thing. You should have a strong hold of your craft, which is essentially, if you're in analytics, have a deep rooted sense of understanding data, understanding stats, understanding these same things. Then I think business understanding is also very important. How the business actually works on ground. That is something that you should understand, and the ability to bring all of this together and effectively communicate it to the people that you work with. I think that holds it.
So what challenges have you encountered when mentoring junior analysts and how do you guide them to become self-sufficient?
I think there are two things generally which you need to do to mentor junior analysts. I think one is how do you develop critical thinking? How do you ask them or basically push them to be more curious and understand the power of asking the right questions, right? I think that's mostly it. And younger people and junior people, I think they need a lot of ownership and responsibility, which is something that I think, if possible, you should give it out to them.
So the last question, how was your experience interacting with student managers here and what advice would you like to give to them as they start their corporate journey?
I think the most important is be open to learning, be open to experiment, be open to fail also if that is what is required. but fail like fast, not like fail at the end. Fail early. And I think the power of this campus is that you are able to build strong relationships. So please go ahead and build those. Build that network that will help you achieve something later on in your life.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much, sir.